You wish to help?
Suma chirped, slightly confused. If I can, yeah, I told her.
Even after I try to control you?
Just don't do it again, I chuckled.
Of course, never again, she said,
and began almost bobbing up and down, singing happily.
Sumo da John nis ah.
I think the translation thing stopped working for a second, I said. Suma slowly stopped bouncing and, still excited, explained.
Oh no, it is still working fine. I was singing in the old tongue of my people. I don't really know what it means, but it is sung when we are happy.
Oh, I nodded in understanding. So, Suma, can you tell me what I should expect if I were to become your familiar? Suma's head craned back as if she were avoiding a slap.
Great, Jake, I couldn't possibly make you my familiar. I am not worthy to be the master of such a powerful being as you. You have already shown so much kindness by naming me. I couldn't possibly ask any more of you.
I shook my head and waved a hand in dismissal. You aren't asking, I am. I prepared for years in case I was summoned again, then I find out there is no danger of that, and I basically wasted years of my life over nothing. I want to at least use the skills I learned to help someone. I'm not much of a soldier, but maybe I could make a decent familiar. Suma was dumbstruck, and could barely form a sentence. She shook her head and flapped her wings.
Okay.
So, what do we do first? I asked.
We need to perform the Rite of Two. It will bind our souls and allow us to communicate with each other across worlds, as well as let me summon you at a moment's notice, she explained.
How do we do that? I wondered.
We need to go to the Grand Sanctum. It is illegal to try and perform it anywhere else now, after what happened.
I figured she was either talking about me or that Borok beast, but I didn't ask. With that, we left the school and made our way to the city. Will it be alright if I just walk around like this? What if I scare someone? I asked Suma.
It should be fine. Most people will just assume you are a familiar and under a control ritual, but you will definitely draw quite a few stares.
She chirped in a way that I think she was laughing. She wasn't wrong. Nobody bothered us, but almost everyone we passed looked at me with either shock or fear. I was guessing anyway. I still can't exactly tell with them. For all I knew, they could have been flipping me off in their own way. We arrived at the Grand Sanctum without incident. Mostly. I think one nymph was trying to seduce Suma, but she had me chase him off. She chirped happily as he squawked and flew away as fast as he could. The Grand Sanctum was a large white building that had huge holes peppered throughout its walls. Nymphs were speedily flying in and out of them, making a variety of noises as they did. There was a large open area at the bottom. Well, large compared to the nymphs. I had to crouch down to make it through. I guess bipedal apes are rare for familiars. Inside it was like a giant birdcage. Some areas had walls, others just wire shells, but most of it was empty space so that there was room to fly. This place is huge, I whispered to Suma. She had told me that I needed to be quiet, or the other nymphs would think she was losing control of me, and I would end up in a cage or something.
It is actually the largest building in the city right now. I hear there is a bigger one somewhere in the western atolls,
Suma quietly told me. We waited in a line leading to a large pedestal for about 20 minutes, but eventually we were called up by an older-looking nymph with greyish feathers and a more curled beak than Suma's. Next, he squawked. We walked up and Suma said,
I'm here to perform the Rite of Two.
ID number and date of hatching? The older bird requested.
ID 126-5569-741. I was hatched on the 2nd of Amuf 12 years ago. Oh, and my name is Suma.
That last part she announced proudly. As soon as Suma said she had a name, the older bird perked up and began talking in a much friendlier tone. Oh, Madam Suma, my apologies for the long wait. We will get you a room for your ritual right away. The older bird looked at me, then back to Suma. Is this the creature you will be pairing with today, or shall I get you a summoning squad?
This is him, she answered.
Very good. We will alert you in just a moment when a room is available. Please feel free to relax in our waiting area, and if you want, we have a nice kennel for your future familiar to stay in while you wait. I shot him an icy glare, and the feathers around his neck puffed up.
That won't be necessary. Jake will be staying with me.
Very good, he said, looking back and forth between me and Suma. We walked into the waiting area he mentioned, and she perched on a kind of metal branch thing. Meanwhile, there wasn't a single real seat in sight. I sighed. I guess I'll stand.
Sorry about the kennel thing,
Suma said sheepishly. It's no big deal, I told her. I guess that is something I'll just have to get used to. We didn't have to wait long for our turn in the room. I guess named nymphs are this world equivalent of rich people or nobility of some kind. The room was much smaller than the main area, but more than large enough for myself and several nymphs.
Okay, Jake. Are you ready?
Suma asked.